Nu ska det handla om bilar och dragracing. Funny Car heter en av dragracingens populäraste klasser och vår film ska visa en deltävling i de amerikanska mästerskapen för Funny Cars. Cajun Nationals heter den och den körs i Kalifornien på ett ställe som heter Baton Rouge. En Funny Car är egentligen en dragster som försätts med ett plastskål för att se ut som en vanlig bil och för att det ska vara roligare för publiken på det sättet. Den har en V8-motor med en effekt på runt 2000 hästar. Den är försedd med bromsskärmar och de behövs. Som ni kommer att se så går det otäckt fort i den här klassen. En bra Funny Car avverkar tävlingssträckan 400 meter på bortåt 6,5 sekund. Vilket då innebär en slutfart efter 400 meter på 360 kilometer i timmen. USA är det ledande landet i världen när det gäller dragracingsporten. Och de förare som förekommer här, bland andra Raymond Beadle och Don Prudhomme, de är kända över hela världen i den här sporten. De är också välkända för de intresserade i Sverige. En av förarna, Kenny Bernstein, ska förklara hur en sån här Funny Car fungerar.
Funny Car resembles a Plymouth Arrow, such as the Budweiser King that we are showing now, but that is all that it does, is resemble. That is a plastic body. The engine is a Chrysler engine of 426 cubic inches with a half-inch stroke, which makes it, in layman's terms, 480 cubic inches. That produces 2,000 horsepower at right conditions, and that's why the car can run 245 miles an hour in 6 seconds. Obviously, you can't go down to the showroom floor and buy this 1980 Horizon or Datsun or Plymouth Arrow and go 240 miles an hour. We use an exotic fuel, which is nitromethane. The expense on the nitromethane is $25 a gallon, and we use 8 gallons per 6-second run. So obviously it's an expensive sport too, but it's something you can't buy at the pump gas station. We use large tires on the rear. As you can see, they are Goodyears in this particular case. They are roughly 16 inches wide, 108 inches in circumference, and we have to have these to maintain the control that it takes to leave the starting line. The tires also run only 4 pounds of air pressure, which to your private car would be in the 30 or 26 to 30 pound range.
All right, John, I understand a Funny Car. And here's the first quarterfinal heat. Kenny Bernstein in the far lane, Paul Smith in the near. Tell us how it goes.
All right, we're looking at Paul Smith, number 1 qualifier at 6:02 in a beautiful new Sting Trans Am from Ottavine, Indiana. Smith, who has run very, very quickly this year in the 2 preceding winter events, particularly fast at the Cajun Nationals in Gainesville, Florida. Now there's Bernstein. He's the number 5 qualifier at 6:11. They're moving into stage 7.5 inches when that lower yellow beam goes on before a foul start, and they're controlling 2,000 horsepower Funny Cars. They roll into stage now. Bernstein ready to go with Smith. They're out of the chute. Away they go. Oh, Bernstein up in smoke. He's got to back off. And here comes Paul Smith all the way through the quarter mile to win at 6:16, 234.37 miles per hour. And Paul Smith goes into the second round, and Kenny Bernstein takes a very slow, frustrated cruise to the end of the quarter mile in his 240 mile per hour potential Budweiser King Funny Car. Bernstein, very dejected, popping the motor just enough to keep it running, now turns off the course for the trip back to the trailer and out of this drag race. Here we are again in slow motion. Now you'll watch Smith in the near lane come right up on the tires, lift the front end a little bit, come out, and you notice that Bernstein got way up on the tires very soon. He pulled sideways, headed to the guardrail, and backed off.
I liked running a Funny Car. They're exciting. They have a body on them. They have more sign space on them. They're zoomy. The kids like them. The grown-ups like them. We like them. Funny Cars, in my opinion, is the hottest thing in drag racing.
I know the first time I drove it, of course, I was 16, and I'd never been anything over 100 miles an hour, and it scared the heck out of me when they shut the body. You know, it gave me like a claustrophobia type thing. I like it because it's more of an exciting type of car. I mean, it looks, people identify with the body styles, like ours is a Chevrolet Citation.
Because the people like the Funny Cars the best. I think it's just kind of like driving a car. You know, you're sitting back there, you got the feeling of the body and all the things going on inside, you know, and compared to a top fuel, that's a different sensation. You're out there in the open air, and the Funny Car is still breathtaking.
The second quarterfinal, John. Ron Colson and Dale Armstrong on the pad.
You're looking at Ron Colson, the number 3 qualifier at 6:09 in the King's Hawaiian bred Roland Leong own Dodge Omni. Ron Colson Took a long plane flight to get here. He lives in the little town of Bensonville, Illinois. His competitor in this round is number 7 qualifier, Dale Armstrong. Now looking at the side of this beautiful, ultimate accelerating vehicle, the plastic Dodge Omni type body. Right there on the other side of your screen is Dale Armstrong, former Pro Comp world champion, number 7 qualifier at 6:16. The two cars roll into stage now. This is a very, very tenuous procedure. You can see the smoke pumping out of the side of the car, and out of the chute they go now. And watch what's going to happen in the mid-range. Here goes Coulson into high gear, and he wins the race with an elapsed time of 6:13, 242.58. Armstrong behind him at 6:32.01.34 as they bounce down the shutoff area. Coulson goes into the next round. Here we come again. They come out of the gate. Coulson responds first. Armstrong is right with him, gets a little bit sideways. Now watch the high gear shift. There comes the horsepower. There goes Coulson into the lead and into the next round at the Cajun Nationals.
It starts the whole thing on the race. You can have the quickest car here, and if you're a little bit sleepy, you can lose the race. I think a person needs to be keyed up and ready, but not overkeyed and try to red light or something. You just need to run each race separately.
You can run a 6:10, and if you're a 10th late, the other guy can run a 6:19 and beat you. So it's extremely important.
The first couple of feet of the racetrack, that's where the most importance is. If you sit there and spin the tires, the other guy's already gone down the track.
Drag racing is a game of inches, and anytime you can pick up a little ET, what you call a quick leave on somebody, it's very possible to beat another car that's faster than yours by running a slower time.
Okay, John, let's look at Tom Hoover in action.
And here he is, the number 4 qualifier from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the 1980 Chevrolet Corvette known as Showtime, Tom Hoover. Qualifying time 6:10, 236.84 as he backs up. His competitor will be Trip Shoemake, driving for Johnny Loper of Phoenix, Arizona, and the beautiful little hoss, Plymouth Arrow. Shoemake now seen on the right side of your screen. There he is, the beautiful all-black Dodge Omni, qualified number 8 at 6.18 seconds, 241.28 miles per hour. And he does that dry burnout, hopping on the wheels. What that means to the driver in terms of instantaneous response and no tire smoke on the second burnout is that the launch pad, that device on which he accelerates for the first 300 feet of the quarter mile, which really means the difference between win and loss, is properly established. Crew member for Hoover directs his driver into stage. The signal goes out as Hoover pulls down the goggles over the front of his driving helmet. Every once in a while we have a driver in drag racing who forgets to do that, and now all the crew chiefs mention to their drivers by hand signals that they should so do. They're out of the gate. All right, they move quick, and Shoemake is in the lead. Now, Hoover jumped first, but watch Shoemake go into high gear, and he beats Hoover to the finish line with a 6:25 elapsed time, 2:34.98. Hoover, the runner-up at 6:27, 220.04. Trip Shoemake, less than 6.3 seconds to a win in this round of the Cajun Nationals with his parachute out. All right, let's watch it again. As the light go green, you'll see Hoover move first, but watch what Shoemake gets into second gear very close to the center line, and now he hits high gear and motors away. He'll win by just about a car length right there. Trip Shoemake, next round of the Cajun Nationals. And there is the pit crew begin to pick up the parachutes, put it over the back of the car so that it can be pushed back to the pits.
And the last of the quarterfinals, Billy Meyer in the near lane faces Henry Harrison in the far. John?
All right, this is the Hawaiian Tropic Motivator, a thundering 1980 Chevy Citation. Billy Meyer at the wheel. He's the number 2 qualifier, 6:08, 239.36, now seen backing in from his burnout. His competition from Los Angeles, California, driving Pat Johnson's LA Hooker, is drag racing veteran Henry Harrison. The number 6 qualifier, here seen on the screen at 6:12, 234.98 miles per hour. Harrison backs into stage. Henry Harrison has been around drag racing for many years. This is his finest ride to date. Billy Meyer, his 5th year in drag racing, has been in some of the most unusual drag racing accidents in the history of the sport. At one time, when he was 17 years old, he nearly drowned at a drag strip in Florida when he went off the end of the quarter mile into a tidal pool. He moves into stage now. The Hawaiian Tropic Motivator near the screen. Billy Meyer at the wheel against Henry Harrison. The staging procedure, very, very tenuous here. Buster Couch calls the green, and out of the chute they go. Meyer shakes his tires. Henry Harrison gets sideways and backs off, but here comes Meyer. He wins! Wow, what a tremendous race. Myers winning elapsed time 6.51 seconds, 227.84, as Pat Johnson's L.A. Hooker, Henry Harrison up, his runner-up at 6:54, 220.04. Here's the race again. See Myers shake the tires. He has to back off. Harrison is going down the quarter mile, but Myers recovers, and watch this top speed charge. Blows his doors off at the finish line and wins the race. Incredible. And Billy Myers coasts off the end of the quarter mile, pipes smoking, to the next round of the Cajun Nationals Funny Car Eliminator Championship.
So into the semifinals go Paul Smith, Ron Colson, Billy Meyer, and Trip Shoemate. Lindsey Nelson with drag race expert John Lundberg back at the Cajun Nationals. In our first semifinal, Ron Colson takes on Paul Smith.
All right, it's thumbs up for Ron Colson as he rolls forward to stage in the beautiful Roland Leong prepared Dodge Omni. We'll be seeing Colson's burnout here, and here he comes, up on the tires, blazing him hard, trying to drive as much rubber into the track surface as possible so that his launch path is straight, true, and traction-filled. Here's that burnout again. Now you see him smoking the tires absolutely as hard as he can. Two things happen here. The tires get absolutely clean, free of any debris that might be left on them, and the excess rubber goes into the course, preparing that all-important launch pad. He's in reverse and backing into stage. Beside him is the tremendous Sting Trans Am of Paul Smith. Now, in the first round, Colson ran 6:13 to beat Dale Armstrong, and Smith ran 6:16, so the two cars are within 3/100ths of a second of each other. You can understand, then, why it's so important that the traction path for these vehicles is properly laid. Roland Leong very calmly motioning Ron Colson back into stage. Colson, a former top gas competitor when that bracket was very prominent in the sport of drag racing, and Roland Leong is a 20-year veteran of the sport, a very, very good team. Here's Paul Smith. He campaigned cars called the Entertainer for several years. This Larry Kugel-built vehicle is the finest car he's ever had to drive. They're ready to go and move forward now to stage. On the left side of your screen again, Paul Smith in the Sting. Really stunned people at Gainesville, doing extremely well here against a seasoned veteran, Ron Colson. Who's going to win this contest? They roll forward to stage. The next stage light 7.5 inches away from a red. Here comes the tree. Out of the chute they go. Colson smokes his tires, and look at Smith. No smoke at all. He's got a straight arrow shot to the end of the quarter mile, and Colson, runner up at 6.9, 226.70 miles per hour. And there's your victor, Paul Smith, winner of this round in Funny Car Eliminator. Let's take a look at the slow motion. Again, you'll see Colson move. Now notice how he goes up on the tires, smokes him. The car gets sideways. He tries to drive it out by backpedaling. Smith, foot hard on the throttle. It's already out of the lead, unassailably the winner of this round of Funny Car Eliminator.
Yeah, one more round, guys. One more round is all we need. We need this big one, I'm telling you.
And now Billy Meyer faces Trip Shoemake to see which one gets to race Paul Smith for the championship.
Here comes Billy Meyer in the Hawaiian Tropic Motivator Chevrolet Citation. Meyer, called Waco Willie from Waco, Texas, smokes the tires hard coming out of the gate. Shoemake has already completed his burnout. He's on the left side of your screen. Now, Trip got lane choice due to lower ET in the first round. Let's watch the slow motion of the burnout. Notice the unusual vibrations, the body flex. The chassis must be undergoing a tremendous amount of strain as Meyer executes his burnout. Now they back into stage. Trip Shoemake ran 6:25 in the first round. Billy Meyer 6:51. So Meyer's got to step up by just more than 1/4 of a second to be in this race as they go through the second round of competition. Beautiful 1980 Chevy Citation, molded in fiberglass, reduced in height, length, and contour to mold around a space frame chassis. And here's Trip Shoemake. Number 2 burnout, no smoke. Tires biting into the rubber-prepared asphalt as they now prepare to assault the quarter mile to see who goes into the final round to face Paul Smith, who has told his crew cryptically, just one more round. Meyer testing his clutch and transmission, making sure that everything is ready to bite the surface with maximum efficiency. Trip Shoemake, here's the Christmas tree. Let's watch them as they stage. First guy to move in is Meyer. Here comes Shoemake. We're ready. Watch it. It'll be yellow-green. Out of the chute they go. Shoemake is up on his tires, and he's sideways, heading to the guardrail. He backs off, and there goes Billy Meyer through the end of the quarter mile winner with an elapsed time of 6:32, 226.13. And Trip Shoemake dejectedly coasting across the finish line at 13.4 seconds, 60.48. So Billy Meyer from Waco, Texas, goes into the final round against Paul Smith, and Trip Shoemake takes nothing more than a Sunday drive off the end of the quarter mile as tire shake and control problems put Johnny Loper's little hoss out of the program. Here's the retake. Now watch on the left side of your screen. Shoemake front end up, gets up on the tires. They start to smoke. They smoke harder. He gets sideways. Rear end goes towards the guardrail. He backs off, swings the car around. She heads towards the center line, and Billy Meyer just keeps on trucking. Shoemake dejectedly walks away from his racer.
I got off real quick, and I was real close to red lighting. I was real conscious, you know, the starting line there, because the guy in front of me, that Ron Colson, they smoked the tires, and and as you know, I smoked the tires first round, so I didn't know what you know, I was holding the brake, and I was just careful.
Were you thinking about that at the time?
Oh, sure, very much. Ready for it to just haze the tire, so I had to pedal it or something. But lucked out and it didn't.
And it all comes down to this one. The finals, Billy Meyer and Paul Smith. At the end of this quarter mile, one of these men will be Cajun National Funny Car Champion.
And here comes Paul Smith, the entertainer. Larry Kugel's magnificent Sting Trans Am. 6:16 and 6:22. 2 victories for Paul Smith. Now it's time for his burnout. The brand new yellow Simpson helmet against the black windshield. The butterflies are open, the tires smoke, and Paul Smith launches himself for a launch pad improving burnout, and here comes Billy Meyer right beside him. Meyer, 1980 Chevy Citation. Now let's watch the burnout again. Again, you'll notice the body flex, the car moving sideways as it dances on the tires, desperately grabbing for traction and laying down that rubber-covered launch path for Paul Smith. They back into stage now from their burnouts. Billy Meyer's had a traction problem at this race. Will it bother him again? Meyer, going for his first major win since last year, qualified 6:11 at the Winter Nationals, went out in the first round, and at last month's Gator Nationals was the #1 qualifier at 6:09 and went out for driving over the center line. There's Billy Meyer backing into stage, the Hawaiian Tropic Motivator. And here is Paul Smith driving Larry Kugel's Sting Pontiac Trans Am. Less than 7 seconds from the time the light goes green, we'll have a winner of the Funny Car Championship here at the Cajun Nationals. They roll into stage. Making sure that his goggles are properly in place, Paul Smith rolls into stage, left hand on the steering wheel, right hand on the brake handle as he moves this 2,000 horsepower quarter-mile assault vehicle into stage. Billy Meyer occupied in exactly the same way. They're in deep stage now. We're ready. Green, out of the chute they go. Meyer goes towards the center line. Smith is sideways. Meyer recovers, takes the lead, and Billy Meyer is the Cajun Nationals Funny Car Champion at 6:66, 215.31. The crew don't go down to greet him. Smith, the runner-up, 8:21, 108.82 as they cruise off the end of the quarter mile. An expensive race for Billy Meyer as you saw him blow an engine as he neared the finish line. We're back at the starting line. Now watch Smith up on the tires. He goes sideways. He backs off. For the second time, Billy Meyer recovers first, goes out into the lead, rolls away to the win, loses his engine in the process, but he's the Cajun Nationals Funny Car Champion. Right now, Billy Meyer, the Cajun Nationals champion.
They call him Waco Willie, and he's our champion.
Did a wheel stand, huh? Right off the line.
We did a wheel stand off the starting line, and when it does that, it gets on the wheelie bars and it unloads rear tires, and so we smoked the tires. And every time I got back into the throttle, I was trying to smoke the tires. It's kind of a lucky thing right now. It was on our side today.
Well, we tried, guys. Next time.
What happened?
Oh, the track just is not as good as we thought it was, and it smoked the tires. Got a little sideways, so we had to shut it off, which, you know, it's anybody's race on a racetrack. There's only one winner.
About a foot from the center line?
Yeah, it's about that.
That's right on it. It's too close for me.